What's up, guys? Going to be going into a little mini front headlock series. So over the next few videos, you guys will get to see some great front head stuff. A big mistake that I see a lot of people doing when they attack the front head is they just get so focused on trying to hit one of the front head strangles. But you know, in this little mini course, I'm going to teach you guys how to kind of tie all of the different front head strangles together. The first one we're going to go over is seated Kata Gatame. Okay, and normally I go for this when I have opponents who are kind of hand fighting and I feel like it's hard to get underneath the chin. Later on we're going to go over to situations where we can get underneath the chin. But first one, we're in this front head. Okay, initially just controlling with a chin strap and a tricep grip, and I'm connecting my shoulder to the top of his back. Now from here, okay, we have an opponent who's kind of hand fighting, or maybe they're tucking their chin. We just feel like we can't get a good bite to start to go in for, you know, any type of guillotines. Whenever this happens, I'm just going to look to shoot my hand all the way through like so, and I'm just going to lock my hands up palm to palm. Now from here, I'm going to keep my left elbow pinched in nice and tight. This is just to help prevent him from taking this elbow out, you know, reaching around my hips, anything like that as I go to circle around. So we lock up palm to palm, we pinch our elbow in. Now from here, I'm just going to look to start circling out towards my left-hand side. So I'm going to circle out like so. Now, I'm going to look to insert my right knee behind his tricep here. Now, I'm going to commit down towards my hip. As I commit down, we want to try and shoot the lock of our hands as high up into the armpit as possible. So we're in here. As I commit down, we slide our lock through. Now at the same time, I should be shooting my left heel over his back. Now, finishing mechanics for this, okay, it's actually more of a retraction of my elbow, right? For guillotines, we normally crunch in like so. For seated Kata Gatame, it's the opposite direction, so I'm retracting and my head's moving away. I'm also throwing my hips into the strangle, so I'm back heeling with my left leg, and this is going to lift my hips up and off the mat. Then from here, my head moves away, and I think about retracting my right elbow to get a nice tight strangle. So again, we're front headlock, right? We're struggling to get underneath the chin. So instead, we're going to shoot our hands through. We're going to lock up palm to palm and pinch our elbow in. We're going to circle out towards our left-hand side, and we're going to insert our knee in behind his tricep. From here, we're going to commit our hip down towards the mat as we swim our hands all the way through like so. We're going to throw our left leg over the top, and from here we're going to use this to lift our hips off the mat so that our hips are engaged in the strangle. Our head moves away, and we retract our right elbow back. So again, it's not a crunch in, it's head moves away, and we're retracting that elbow back towards our shoulder. We're front headlock, we're struggling to get underneath the chin, so we're going to swim our hands through, and we're going to pinch our left elbow in nice and tight. We're going to circle out towards our left-hand side, and we're going to insert our knee in behind the tricep. As we fall, we're looking to shoot our hands through and high up into the armpit. At the same time, my left leg's going to be throwing over the top. Now again, for the finishing mechanics, my head is moving away towards my left-hand side. Normal guillotines, we'd be crunching in and moving our head towards the right, but for seated Kata Gatame, it's the opposite. So we have our leg up, we back heel with our left leg to throw our hips into the strangle. Our head moves towards our left, and we think about retracting this elbow back. So all together, it looks like this. We get a nice tight finish. We're going to go into a situation where we feel like we can get underneath the chin. And we're going to go into what I think is probably the tightest and highest percentage guillotine, the high wrist. So once again, we start out same situation where we have chin strap and tricep grip. Now from here, in order to get my wrist high, my head has to make a center line shift. If my head stays on this shoulder, it limits how high my wrist can get. You see how I can't really bring it all the way up to the shoulder? So what we want to do is I'll post on the outside of his tricep like so. And from here, I'm going to think about shifting my head across towards the opposite side shoulder. And you guys can see how much higher my wrist can go when I make that center line shift. Then from here, all we do is we pin our hand on our own shoulder, and we come through. Now, if you have long enough arms, okay, it's ideal to go elbow to elbow, like so. If you can't, maybe there's a size discrepancy or you have short arms, just think about pinning your thumb to his chest instead. So if we can, we go elbow to elbow. If we're unable to do that, we just pin our thumb to the chest. So we're in here, we make the center line shift, our wrist comes nice and high, we pin it on our own shoulder, we reach through with our other hand, we either grab elbow or pin our thumb to the chest. Then from here, all I do is I just fold my right leg in, and I just sit to my butt like so. For this one, it's so tight you don't even need to really engage your legs into the strangle. And then from here, the finishing mechanics. So it's just a crunch in, like so. So my elbow moves across towards my center line, and my head moves towards my right hand side. We have everything locked up. We sit. I crunch towards my right hand side as I give a nice tight squeeze, and we get a nice high wrist finish. So we're front headlock. From here, we post on the outside of the tricep. We make our center line shift, pin our hand to our shoulder, and then we lock up either elbow to elbow or thumb on the chest. We fold our leg in, and we sit towards our butt, and then we just give a crunch towards our right hand side for a nice tight finish. So one last time, okay, we post on the outside of the tricep. We make that center line shift with our head. We get our wrist nice and high, pin it to our shoulder, and lock up either elbow to elbow or pin thumb to the chest. Our right leg folds in, and we just sit to our butt. And then from here, all we do is we give a crunch towards our right hand side as we give a nice tight squeeze. We get a tight strangle. So now we're going to look at transitioning off to an Anaconda when the high wrist doesn't work. So we start out the same way, right? We make our center line shift, we lock our high wrist up and we sit. Sometimes you'll have opponents who will commit their back towards the mat, okay? And if they open this elbow, it can kind of make us lose that high wrist position. So whenever this happens, I'm just going to look to remove my right hand through, and I'm just going to look to start gripping my own bicep. Now, at the same time, okay, that I'm doing this, I want to be trying to take my left leg up high so that I can cover his elbow, like so. This is going to make it hard for him to put stress on my grip. So we've lost the high wrist position. I'm shooting my right hand through, my left leg's coming high, and I just look to hook the back of his tricep like so. We lock up our figure four. To get my left hand as high as possible, okay, we need to hit a reverse shrimp where my toes plant in the mat and I reverse shrimp like so, okay? Initially, this is as high as my hand can get, right? I can't really take it any higher from here. So instead, what we do is we take our toes in the mat, we hit this reverse shrimp, and it allows my hand to come a lot higher. Now, from here, we just continue to hit that reverse shrimp. So, okay, we want to think about walking towards his legs. So I'm reverse shrimping towards his legs, and at the same time, I'm just thinking about giving a nice tight squeeze. And it's like a forward motion with my left elbow. So we have everything locked up here. We have the elbow covered. We reverse shrimp, and we get a nice tight Anaconda. Once again, right, we attempt our high wrist. We sit down. This time he rolls to his back, and he opens that elbow, and we kind of lose that high wrist position. So from here, okay, my hand's coming out. I'm looking to start gripping inside my bicep, and at the same time, I'm looking to hook over the top of his tricep. So we're in here, right? We lose the high wrist position. We come through, we hook the arm, and we lock up this figure four. Now, this is literally as high as my hand can go, so we're going to hit that reverse shrimp. So I base my toes in the mat. I hit that reverse shrimp, and it allows me to get my hand much higher. Now from here, we think about pushing our left elbow forward like so, and at the same time we think about continuing that reverse shrimp to walk in towards his legs, and we get a nice tight finish. If you guys like this video, make sure you leave a thumbs up. If you have any questions regarding the technique, leave a comment down below, and also let me know what you guys want to see next. If you guys want to see more technique videos, make sure you head over to our B Team submeta. We have tons of stuff there, Q&As, live rounds, little mini courses like this. So So make sure you guys check that out. And you also have a bunch of instructionals over on BJJ Fanatics.